Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's start with the answer writing practice for the second part of corporate and economic law for the recently held December 24 term of examination. Right, and this section carries 70 marks and you need to attempt any 5 questions with each question carries 14 marks. राइट आपको सिर्फ 5 क्वेश्चन ही अटेम्प्ट करना है. राइट, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 to 8 अप टू 5 क्वेश्चन ही अटेम्प्ट करना है एंड ईच क्वेश्चन का वेटेज है 14 मार्क्स का. ईच क्वेश्चन का वेटेज है 14 मार्क्स का. राइट, एंड द फोकस हियर विल बी ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ आंसर्स, इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग की लीगल प्रोविजंस एंड giving them in a clear and concise manner to maximize marks. Also, a reminder for those who have not yet seen, the first part, which consists of 30 marks MCQs, has already been discussed and uploaded on my YouTube channel with correct suggested answers. Right, so make sure to check it out to strengthen your preparation. So let's start with section B, answer writing practice. First, we need to start with question number 2A. Question number 2A. आंसर टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 एंड ए से लिखना है क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 का ए. राइट, क्या है ये क्वेश्चन? सी, केस स्टडी का क्वेश्चन है. गौतम ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश इनकॉर्पोरेटेड ए 1% कंपनी व्हिच इज कॉल्ड ओपीसी. इन कंप्लायंस टू लॉ ही अपॉइंटेड हिज ब्रदर रोहित एज नॉमिनी. Both are resident Indian citizens. On 12 Feb 2024, Rohit left India permanently to settle in Dubai and he has withdrawn his nomination. You are required to answer the following in the light of the provisions of the Company Act 2013. What action shall be taken by Gautam when he gets notice of withdrawal of nomination and within what time limit? Second question है, Gautam wants to appoint his minor son Abhijit. Can Gautam appoint his minor son Abhijit as nominee in OPC? Examine with relevance the correctness of the same. And third, in case Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee, what shall be the legal consequences? What shall be the legal consequences? Right. तो ये है क्वेश्चन. तो ये OPC के बारे में ये क्वेश्चन है, केस स्टडी टाइप. राइट, तो इसको इसका आंसर प्रेजेंटेशन देने के लिए हमको पहले क्या करना है, ऐसे लिखना है. एक्शन टू बी टेकन बाय गौतम अपॉन withdrawal of nomination. Action to be taken by Gautam upon withdrawal of nomination. लिखना है when Gautam receives notice of the withdrawal of nomination by Rohit, which is the previous nominee, Gautam must appoint a new nominee within 30 days. How many days? Within 30 days. Right. Gautam must appoint a new nominee within 30 days from the date of the notice of withdrawal. right? As per the provisions of the Company Act 2013 and Rule 4 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014, an OPC, that is one person company, must have a nominee, and if the nominee withdraws, the owner must appoint a new one within this time frame. If Gautam fails to do so, the OPC may be struck off from the register of companies, right? तो लिखना है सेकेंड लाइन में, as per the provisions of Company Act, as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013 and Rule 4 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014, an OPC that is one person company must have a nominee, and if the nominee withdraws, the owner must appoint a new one within this time frame. If Gautam fails to do so, the OPC may be struck off from the ROC, right? ये है फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर. Action to be taken by Gautam upon withdrawal of nomination. When Gautam receives notice of the withdrawal of nomination by Rohit, the previous nominee, then Gautam must appoint a new nominee within 30 days. Within how many days? Within 30 days. Within 30 days from the date of the notice of the withdrawal. As per the provisions of Companies Act 2013 and Rule 4 of the Companies Incorporation Rule 2014, an OPC, that is one person company, must have a nominee, and if the nominee withdraws, the owner must appoint a new one within this time frame. If Gautam fails to do so, the OPC may be struck off from the ROC, right? तो ऐसा ही लिखना है फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर. देन सेकंड क्वेश्चन क्या है? इफ Gautam wants to appoint his minor son Abhijit, can Gautam appoint his minor son Abhijit as nominee in OPC? Examine with relevance the correctness of the same, right? तो इसका राइट आंसर होगा नो, क्योंकि Gautam cannot appoint his minor son Abhijit as the nominee, क्योंकि according to the Companies Act 2013 and the Companies Incorporation Rule 2014, a nominee in an OPC must be a person who is an individual and capable of entering into a contract. Individual होना चाहिए and capable of entering into a contract, right? So a minor being legally incapable of entering into a contract cannot be a nominee for an OPC. Hence, Gautam will need to appoint an adult individual who is a resident Indian citizen as the new nominee, right? तो ऐसे ही लिखना है आंसर. तो सेकंड क्वेश्चन का आंसर, कैन Gautam appoint his minor son Abhijit as nominee in OPC. Can Gautam appoint his minor son Abhijit as nominee in OPC? So the right answer will be no, because Gautam cannot appoint his minor son Abhijit as the nominee क्योंकि according to the Companies Act 2013 and the companies incorporation rules 2014, a nominee in an OPC must be a person who is an individual and capable of entering into a contract. A minor being legally incapable of entering into a contract cannot be a nominee for an OPC, right? Hence Gautam would need to appoint an adult individual who is a resident Indian citizen, right? Indian citizen as the new nominee. Right? So this is the satisfactory answer of question number 2. Can Gautam appoint his minor son Abhijit as nominee in OPC? The answer will be no. Gautam cannot appoint his minor son Abhijit as the nominee. क्योंकि according to the Companies Act 2013 and the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014, a nominee in an OPC must be a person who is an individual and a capable of entering into a contract. A minor being legally incapable of entering into a contract cannot be a nominee for an OPC, right? So hence Gautam would need to appoint an adult individual who is a resident Indian citizen as the new nominee, right? So this is the right answer to question number 2i. Now next question. In case Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee, what should be the legal consequences? तो legal consequence क्या होगा अगर Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee, right? So legal consequences क्या हो सकता है? If Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee within 30 days of receiving the notice of withdrawal, in that case एक तो striking of the OPC हो सकता है. The company may be struck off from the register of companies by the ROC as having a nominee in a legal requirement for an OPC, and non-compliance के वजह से the company will be in a non-compliance with the provisions of Company Act 2013 and may face penalty or actions by the ROC, right? Actions by the ROC. So let's write the legal consequences. Legal consequences if Gautam fails to appoint a न्यू नॉमिनी। क्या क्या लीगल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हो सकता है इफ गौतम फेल्स टू अपॉइंट ए न्यू नॉमिनी? लेट्स राइट if Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee within how many days? Within 30 days. Within 30 days of receiving the notice of withdrawal, the notice of withdrawal, the following legal consequences may arise. First क्या हो सकता है? striking of the OPC, striking of the OPC हो सकता है, right? The company may be struck off from the register of companies, from the registrar of companies by the ROC as having a nominee is a legal requirement for an OPC. Then you can write second क्या हो सकता है? नॉन कंप्लायंस। राइट, क्या नॉन कंप्लायंस? the company will be in non-compliance with the provisions of the Company Act 2013 and may face penalties or actions by the ROC. राइट, तो ये है आंसर टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, लीगल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस इफ गौतम फेल्स टू अपॉइंट ए न्यू नॉमिनी. Right, the answer will be if Gautam fails to appoint a new nominee within 30 days of receiving the notice of withdrawal, the following legal consequences may arise. First, striking of the OPC. The company may be struck off from the registrar of companies by the ROC as having a nominee is a legal requirement for an OPC. And non-compliance. The company will be in non-compliance with the provisions of the Company Act 2013 and they may face penalty or actions by the ROC. इतना लिखने से आपको फुल टू फुल 7 मार्क्स एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं, आ जाएगा. देन मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2B. एग्जामाइन द प्रोविजंस ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 रिलेटिंग टू मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. मेंटेनेंस ऑफ the books of accounts in electronic form under section 128. राइट, तो ये जो क्वेश्चन नंबर 2B है, मेंटेनेंस ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स के ऊपर ये क्वेश्चन है. एंड प्रोविजंस ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 रिगार्डिंग मेंटेनेंस ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म अंडर सेक्शन 128 के हिसाब से जो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स है मेंटेन करने के लिए। तो फर्स्ट तो सेक्शन 128 सब सेक्शन 1 के अंदर आता है मेंटेनेंस ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स। एंड देन आपका मेंटेनेंस इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म में कैसे मेंटेन हो सकता है, कितने टाइम तक बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स को मतलब रखा जा सकता है, राइट। एंड बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या है, एंड डायरेक्टर्स का ड्यूटी क्या है बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स को लेकर, कंप्लेंट्स क्या क्या है, राइट। तो ये सब को लिखना है अगर मेंटेनेंस ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म के ऊपर अगर क्वेश्चन आया है, राइट। तो फर्स्ट एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट हमको लिखना है आंसर टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2B, आंसर टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 2B। हेडिंग देना है, ऐसे हेडिंग लिखना है, हेडिंग देना है प्रोविजंस ऑफ द कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 regarding maintenance of books of accounts in electronic form under section 128. Provisions of Company Act 2013 regarding maintenance of books of accounts in electronic form under section 128, right। तो फास्ट लिखना है सेक्शन 128 ऑफ द कंपनी एक्ट 2013 deals with the maintenance of books of account by companies, right। and it specifies the requirement, it specifies the requirement for maintaining proper books of accounts, and under this section there are provisions that allow for the maintenance of books of accounts in इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फॉर्म, राइट। कैसे फास्ट की हेडिंग भी लिख सकते हो आप, मेंटेनेंस ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, सेक्शन लिखना है 128 सबसेक्शन 1, राइट। एंड एवरी कंपनी इंक्लूडिंग ओपीसी, small company or dormant company is required to maintain proper books of account at its registered office. Every company to maintain books of accounts in registered office or at such other place in India as the board of directors may decide, right। Then second लिखना है the books of account must be maintained accurately and must reflect the true and fair view of the company's state of affairs, right। लिखना है the company books of accounts, the company's books of accounts must be maintained accurately and must reflect the true and fair view of the company's state of affairs, right? And maintenance of electronic form under section 128(1), the books of accounts can be maintained in electronic form provided that the record must be backed off regularly. बैकअप होना चाहिए, रेगुलर बैकअप होना चाहिए, right? And the books must be accessible and should be retrievable in a readable and auditable form. Must be accessible, books must be accessible and should be retrievable in a readable and auditable form, right? And the company must take reasonable steps to ensure that the books of accounts are secured and protected against unauthorized access or tampered, right? Then लिखना है preservations of बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. कितने टाइम तक? ये जो प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स है ये मेंशन हुआ है सेक्शन 128 सब सेक्शन 2 के अंदर. प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स अंडर सेक्शन 128 सब सेक्शन 2. द बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मस्ट बी मेंटेन इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली फॉर्म, शुड बी प्रिजर्व इन ए मैनर दैट एंश्योर्स दैट सिक्योरिटी, ऑथेंटिसिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी होना चाहिए, राइट? सिक्योरिटी, इंटीग्रिटी एंड ऑथेंटिसिटी होना चाहिए, राइट? द कंपनी मस्ट एंश्योर दैट these books are available for inspection at any time as required by the ROC or the other authority, right? And the period of preservation is the same as record physical documents records. The books must be kept for at least 8 years. The books must be kept at least for 8 years. The books must be kept at least for 8 years from the end of the financial year. From the end of the financial year to which they relate, right? For companies that have been wound off, records must be kept for a longer period if necessary as required by the law, right? And what are the responsibility of board of director? The board of director is responsible for ensuring that the books of accounts are maintained and safe. They should ensure that the records are easily accessible and in a format that can be audited and verified, right? And if the books of accounts are maintained in electronic form, the company should ensure that they are auditable. If the statutory auditor has the right to examine and verify the electronic records, and the company must provide adequate support and software tools for the audit process, right? डायरेक्टर का ड्यूटी क्या है? एवरी डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी शैल बी लायबल फॉर एनी डिफॉल्ट और नॉन कंप्लायंस रिलेटेड टू द मेंटेनेंस एंड प्रिजर्वेशन ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. इन केस द कंपनी फेल्स टू मेंटेन प्रॉपर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स, द डायरेक्टर में फेस पेनल्टीज, राइट? तो ऐसे ही इतना ही लिखने से आपको मार्क मिल जाएगा, राइट? As per section 128 of the Company Act 2013 deals with the maintenance of books of accounts by companies. It specifies the requirement for maintaining proper books of accounts, and under this section there are provisions that allow for the maintenance of books of accounts in electronic form, right? Maintenance of books of account as per section 121 every company to maintain books of accounts in registered office. The company's books of accounts must be maintained accurately and must reflect the true and fair view of the company's state of affairs. A regular backup होना चाहिए, must be accessible होना चाहिए, readable होना चाहिए, auditable होना चाहिए. The books must be books of accounts can be maintained in electronic form under Section 128 of the Companies Act with safeguards in place to ensure that integrity, safety, security and authenticity होना चाहिए. The books must be regularly back off, stored in machine readable and accessible formats and reserved for last 8 years. Okay, at least 8 years तक रिजर्व रखना है. The board of directors is responsible. The board of directors BOD is responsible for ensuring the proper maintenance and preservation of the books, right, जिसके अंदर CFO पे आता है of the books, and BOD includes CFO also. CFO means Chief Financial Officer, right? Okay, so and the board of directors is responsible for ensuring that the proper maintenance of and preservation of the books is already done. Auditors can examine the books and the company must comply with relevant इनकम टैक्स रेगुलेशंस, राइट. तो इतना ही लिखने से आपको क्वेश्चन नंबर जो 2B में फुल टू फुल 7 मार्क्स मिल जाएगा. फुल टू फुल 7 मार्क्स मिल जाएगा, राइट. सो सी हियर ये था क्वेश्चन नंबर 2A एंड B, एंड इसके नेक्स्ट वीडियो में क्वेश्चन नंबर 3A एंड 3B का हम आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, ठीक है. सो दिस इज इट ऑल अबाउट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2A. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर सपोर्ट एंड हैप्पी स्टडिंग.